Christian Jr. from Petersburg, Virginia. And what else you want me to talk about?
Just tell me why you got the letter.
Letter Friday, and didn't know what to expect, but then I saw the Secretary of the Commonwealth Clemency Division. And my first thought was, okay, here we go again. Then when I opened up the envelope, this is what I found in here. This is a letter or resolution or letter, either way. It's restoring my rights to vote here in Virginia. Well, not only to vote, but to sit on a jury if called, as well as to be a notary public. This has been a long, tiring fight to get my rights restored here in Virginia. It is a tiresome fight for anyone after you've done your time, after you've gotten that felony and you've done your time, and now you just want to be a part of society again. It's a struggle. It is indeed a struggle. But as I said, as of Friday, I received this letter and it makes me feel real good. I got that part over. And notice what I'm saying. I got that part over, got the rights back, and they also added in a voter registration form. But right now, I'm still saying, what else can I do to help those who have not gotten to where I am as of yet? I don't know if it's just the helper in me or the activist, but yeah, I'm glad. Hey, Ray, I have mine. I have my rights back. But now, for my brothers and sisters out there who are still struggling, who are still fighting, it's time to get them theirs back. And my biggest goal, this right here, solidifies that there's still work yet to be done.
How long was your fight in getting your rights restored?
In total, over 5 years. In total, over 5 years, because you have to wait 3 years after you are released. And when they say released, not only from jail, but if you still have fines to pay, you're still considered in the system. If you are still on probation or parole, you're still considered in the system. So once you finish, let's say you had probation. Once you are off probation, you have to wait 3 years after you get off probation or parole before you can apply. And then once you apply, it's no guarantee that between that time you got off probation or parole and applied, there's no guarantee depending on if you came, let's say you got off probation and parole a month before a gubernatorial election. If a new governor comes in, that new governor can change the rules. And so that's what I say, it took every bit of 5 years. So after waiting that 3-year period, then when I first applied, was denied, had to go through some changes because received a letter stating that I had to be able to show that I could get my driver's license back. So that was like, I'm riding high, I'm going to get this done, and then the rug was pulled out from under you. Then when I applied the second time, the first time was 2008, then come back again, here it is, let's say 2009, 2010, you're waiting again only to get a letter telling you you have to write all kinds of stuff, an essay, pretty much rehash what it was you told them when you filled out the application. And as I said, you don't know what's going to happen because depending on who the governor is at that time, changes can be made that just set you back. But thank God we had some wonderful people. When some folks were discouraging me, there were those who wouldn't let me be discouraged. And that's pretty much this is where I am. This is where I am.
So it's totally at the whim of each government to decide who gets the rights restored or not.
Yes, and that's kind of bad because let's say I've done everything I'm supposed to do and the next person did not. But that person could be well connected. That person's family could be well connected. They'll get theirs. I won't. And you know, it's just something. It's just something. I heard a young man say that because of some of his parking tickets, he was denied. So it's just you never know. You never know. But if you have good people who are not going to let you just sit there and cry and get upset about it, when you have those good people like Andrea and all, you say then, okay, if they believe in me this much, I need to believe in myself. And this is what happened when I had those persons like Andrea to believe in me and refuse to let me give up. And this is where I am.
So what are your next steps on helping people?
Well, my next step on helping people now that I have my rights back, when I go see who's running, and then listen to them and start questioning them about how are you going to address this situation? What are you going to do? And I'm not going to be too keen in taking these brush off type answers, because it may not mean much to some people, but for a person who's done all that they're supposed to do, they've done their time in jail, and they just want to get back. This piece of paper saying you have your rights back, okay, it's just saying you have your rights to vote back. It's not saying that what you've done was expunged, but do you know how that makes a person feel? It makes one feel, and I can speak from experience, that things are looking up for me. I now am going to really be heard, because see, even if you're a felon, you may lose your right to vote, but you still have to pay taxes. They still want you to work. So again, this piece of paper gives you back a sense of being. It restores that sense of being, and that, yes, now I am actually a citizen that's being heard.
Basically, this is a civil rights issue for you, correct?
Yes. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Most people may not see it that way, or may want to deny that it is. But when we look at the Constitution, and then we look at how so many laws have been written to circumvent certain parts of the Constitution, yeah, if they find a way to justify taking away your right to vote, what next?
Thank you, Bob.
All right.